stop freezing when someone asks, "What do you do?" and start answering with the simple patterns real English speakers use every day. In this lesson, you'll learn the exact phrases native speakers use to talk about their jobs.
Subscribe and stay until the end because a few simple phrases can completely change how you introduce your job in English. Let's begin.
Today, we're talking about something practical. If someone asks, "What do you do?" how can you answer without freezing?
Great question, Emma. The answer can be very simple. Most people respond with short phrases.
Really? Do learners need to prepare a long explanation?
Not at all. People usually say things like, "I'm a teacher," "I'm a designer," or "I work in marketing."
Interesting. So the answer is usually short?
Exactly. People start simple and add more if needed.
I think many learners panic and try to translate everything.
Yes, and that slows the brain down.
Wow, that makes sense.
Natural speech is usually simple and direct.
That sounds familiar. So what is the simplest way to start answering this question?
The easiest structure is I am a plus job title. For example, I am a teacher. I am a manager.
That sounds simple, but I've seen learners hesitate even with that.
That happens because they think too much about grammar.
Wow, when you list them like that, it really feels simple.
Exactly. The goal is to feel comfortable introducing yourself.
I've also heard people say, "I'm an engineer," instead of "I'm a engineer." Why?
In English, we use a or an before professions.
Could you give examples?
Sure. I am a teacher. I am a manager. I am an engineer.
Interesting. So the choice depends on the sound.
Exactly. And in natural conversation, people usually say, "I'm a teacher," instead of "I am a teacher."
Ah, that's the contraction.
Yes, and it makes speech shorter and smoother.
But sometimes people also say where they work. How can learners do that?
After saying your job, you can add the workplace. For example, I'm a teacher. I work at a school.
So the structure becomes I am a job plus I work at a place.
Exactly. Very simple and effective.
And what about the difference between work at and work in?
Work at usually refers to a specific place. For example, I work at a hospital.
And work in?
Work in is used for areas or industries. For example, I work in marketing or sales.
Wow, that's easier than I thought.
Exactly. Everyday English is usually very direct.
But if someone wants to explain what they actually do during the day, what can they say?
The easiest way is to describe actions. For example, I help people. I talk to customers. I manage projects.
So instead of explaining everything, we just say the main activity.
Exactly. Think of it like a quick summary.
Could you show a full example?
Sure. I'm a salesperson. I work at a clothing store, and I help customers.
That sounds very natural.
Exactly. The sentence is simple but communicates a lot.
I see what you mean. Learners often think they need complex sentences.
Right. But fluency usually comes from simple patterns used confidently.
You mentioned patterns earlier. Are those what people call chunks?
Yes. A chunk is a group of words your brain learns as one piece.
Could you give examples?
Sure. I work in. I work at. I help people. I deal with customers. I manage projects.
Wow, those sound like phrases people use all the time.
Exactly. And when you learn them as chunks, You don't need to translate.
Why does translation slow learners down so much?
Because the brain creates a sentence in the native language first, and then tries to convert it into English.
That explains the long pauses.
Exactly. But when you learn chunks, the brain recognizes them instantly.
So instead of translating, I help clients with problems, learners remember, I help customers.
Exactly. Then they can adapt the phrase naturally.
Wow, that feels like a big breakthrough.
It really is. When learners stop translating and start using chunks, their confidence grows.
I think many learners worry about sounding too simple.
That's a common fear, but it's not true. Even advanced speakers use simple structures.
Really?
Absolutely. A manager might say, I manage a small team. I work with clients. I organize meetings.
Those are very clear sentences.
Exactly. Clarity is more important than complexity.
I've also noticed learners sometimes try to sound very formal.
Yes, that happens a lot.
Why is that a problem?
Because formal language can sound unnatural. For example, my occupation consists of managing commercial operations.
That sounds like a job interview speech.
Exactly. A natural version would be, I work in sales, or I manage a sales team.
Wow, that's much simpler.
Natural English is usually shorter.
I think learners would feel more confident if they realized that.
Exactly. Fluency comes from comfort and repetition.
Let's imagine a real conversation. If someone asks, "What do you do?" what could the answer be?
A natural answer could be, I'm a teacher. I work at a language school, and I help students improve their English.
That sounds clear and friendly.
Exactly. And notice the rhythm.
Speaking of rhythm, pronunciation also affects confidence, right?
Absolutely.
Many learners pronounce every word separately.
Yes, but in natural English, words often connect.
Could you show an example?
Sure. Instead of saying, I am a teacher, people usually say, I'm a teacher.
Wow, that's much smoother.
Exactly. Connected speech helps sentences flow naturally.
I think many learners would be surprised to hear how simple real conversations can be.
That's true. English conversations often start with small exchanges.
Like introductions?
Exactly. For example, what do you do? I'm an engineer. Nice. Where do you work? I work at a tech company.
Wow, that's already a complete conversation.
Exactly. And it sounds very natural.
What if someone is a student?
Very simple. They can say, I'm a student.
And if they want to add more information?
They could say, I'm a student, I study business. Or, I study engineering.
So if someone understands a few chunks, can they already have a basic conversation about their job?
Exactly. That's a big step toward fluency.
Earlier, you showed sentences like, I'm a teacher, or I work at a company. But how does the conversation continue?
Usually with follow-up questions like, where do you work? Or what do you do there?
So the conversation grows step by step.
Exactly. Conversations are like building blocks.
Let's imagine another dialogue.
Sure. What do you do? I'm a designer. Nice. Where do you work? I work at a marketing agency.
That sounds very natural.
Exactly. And notice that the sentences are simple.
Right.
Fluency often comes from simple sentences used with confidence.
So simple language is normal, right?
Yeah. For example, I'm a project manager. I work with a small team.
That's very clear.
Communication is the main goal.
Earlier, you mentioned spoken chunks. How can learners practice them?
Through repetition. For example, I work in sales. I help customers. I manage projects.
Let's talk about pronunciation. Sometimes learners pronounce every word separately.
Yes, and that can sound robotic. Connected speech helps, like saying, I'm a teacher, instead of, I am a teacher.
Right, the words connect.
Sure. Another example is, I work at a company, which often sounds like, I work at a company.
The words blend together.
Yes, and that creates the rhythm of spoken English.
If someone asks, where do you work? How could learners answer?
They could say, I work at a hospital, and add a detail like, I help patients.
That gives a clearer picture of the job.
Exactly.
Sometimes learners worry about making mistakes.
That's common, but they should focus on communication, not perfection.
That's reassuring.
Fluency grows with practice.
Before we finish, can you give learners a small challenge?
Sure. Try completing this sentence. I am a place. I work at a place. And I action.
That's a great speaking exercise.
For example, I am a teacher. I work at a language school, and I help students.
I like that idea.
Practice it out loud every day. In the next video, we'll explore 15 advanced English phrases that make you sound more natural. You might know some, but not all.
See you there.
Bye!